settlement nestled deep in the eerie forests of Connecticut is now a desolate, forsaken ghost town, its very name whispered in fear. The town's dark history is shrouded in mystery, cursed by the tragic fate of its residents. It is said that the Dudley family, cursed by a mysterious ancestral curse, brought ruin to the town from the moment they arrived. As the years passed, strange deaths, disappearances, and unexplainable horrors plagued the settlers, and one by one, the people of Dudley Town vanished, leaving behind only silence and the creak of rotting wood. Now the crumbling remains of Dudley Town are a place to be avoided at all costs. Those who dare to step foot on its cursed soil report hearing faint whispers, the distant sound of footsteps where no one walks, and an overwhelming, suffocating dread. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures flitting between the decaying buildings, their hollow eyes following any intruder. The air itself feels thick with the lingering presence of something malevolent, something that refuses to let the town's dark past die. Vandals and thrill seekers have tried to enter, but many leave with their minds shattered, or worse, never to return. Dudley Town is not just abandoned, it is haunted by the restless spirits of the past, forever trapped in its desolate ruins, waiting for the next soul to wander into their grasp. The Dover Demon is a chilling legend that has haunted the small town of Dover, Massachusetts, since the spring of 1977. Over the course of 2 terrifying nights, 3 separate witnesses claimed to encounter a creature so otherworldly, its image has burned itself into local lore forever. The first sighting occurred on April 21st, when 17-year-old William Bartlett was driving down a dark, deserted road. As his headlights pierced the night, they illuminated something that shouldn't exist. Perched on a low stone wall was a creature with skin the color of pale, sickly flesh, stretched taut over its gaunt, spindly frame. Its oversized head was grotesquely round, with glowing just hours later, John Baxter, walking home through a wooded path, was startled by a grotesque silhouette in the shadows. The figure moved with a jerking, unnatural gait, its limbs impossibly long and frail. It followed him, closing the distance without a sound, before vanishing into the dark forest. Baxter swore its glowing eyes never wavered from him. The final sighting came from Abby Brabham the next evening. She described a gangly, otherworldly creature crouched near a stream, its elongated fingers clutching at the earth as if searching for something, its gaze locked on her, those unblinking, fiery eyes paralyzing her with an unnatural dread. No tracks, no evidence, no explanation was ever found. Skeptics called it a hoax, but those who saw it still tremble when they recall its stare. Some whisper the creature wasn't of this world, while others fear it still lurks in Dover's shadowy woods, watching, waiting. The Dover demon remains an enigma, a sinister reminder that the unknown might be closer than we think, and it's always watching from the dark.
In the dense, mist-laden forests of North America, an unsettling figure roams, Bigfoot, or as the natives call him, Sasquatch. Towering at nearly 8 feet tall, this monstrous ape-like creature lurks in the shadows, a spectre of nature's wildest secrets. For centuries, stories of his terrifying encounters have spread, each tale more harrowing than the last. Hunters, campers, and wanderers alike speak of colossal footprints embedded in the earth, prints so massive no human could leave them. The chilling evidence, cast in mud and shadow, hints at something far beyond human. But Bigfoot isn't just a rumour in these parts. On cold, silent nights, the forest transforms. The usual hum of wildlife fades, replaced by an eerie silence, as though the trees themselves are holding their breath. Then, through the darkness, comes a low, guttural howl, a sound so deep and raw it seems to pierce through the soul, the unmistakable call of Sasquatch. His presence is felt before he's ever seen, a heavy, brooding shadow in the night, stalking, watching, waiting. Those unlucky enough to catch a glimpse report a creature cloaked in thick, matted fur, eyes glinting with a primal intelligence, yet filled with an unsettling, As he disappears, a foul, musky odour lingers, a reminder that Bigfoot was there, a silent warning for anyone daring enough to tread deeper. Some say he's a guardian of the wilderness, others a harbinger of doom, but all agree Bigfoot is no myth, and in the dark heart of the forest he waits, forever watching, his silent footfalls a deadly promise to those who venture too close to the wild. In the shadowed expanse of Druid Ridge Cemetery in Pikesville, Maryland, a cold, dark statue loomed, a spectral figure known as Black Aggie. This life-sized, cloaked woman, with her face veiled in shadow, sat atop the grave of General Felix Agnes, her granite form exuding a chilling, otherworldly aura. By day, she appeared merely sombre and brooding, but as night fell, the true horror of Black Aggie was said to awaken. Legend tells that Aggie's eyes glowed red after midnight, casting an eerie light over the tombstones, watching anyone foolish enough to linger after dark. Locals swore that the air around her turned deathly cold at night, as though she was drawing warmth and life into herself. Whispers echoed through the town that those who dared meet her gaze would be haunted, plagued by nightmares so vivid they left physical marks, scratches, bruises, inexplicable chills that never went away. Daring teens tested the legend, sneaking into the cemetery to touch Black Aggie's cold, stone feet, but few made it close without recoiling. Those who reached out to touch her swore they felt Aggie's granite hands shift, her fingers stretching toward them, or the faint press of invisible hands gripping their shoulders, holding them in place. One night, a young man dared to spend the night under Aggie's watchful stare. At dawn, he was found frozen in terror, his face twisted in a silent scream. Rumours claimed that Aggie had drawn the life from him, leaving him nothing but a hollow shell. Today, Black Aggie is gone, removed from Druid Ridge Cemetery, but those who remember her say that if you wander near her former resting place on a moonless night, you might still feel her icy stare, hear the whisper of her stone skirts brushing against the earth, a reminder that her spirit lingers, waiting for the next soul to test her curse. In the dark hours of night, when the world falls silent, a chilling urban legend creeps into the minds of those who've heard it. The tale of the black-eyed children. These sinister figures, resembling children aged between 6 and 16, have been reported on doorsteps, in parking lots, along deserted roadsides, and even knocking on car windows. Their pale skin and soulless black eyes, unmistakable and unforgettable. They appear Let us in. An inexplicable dread seeps into the air, an instinctive warning not to trust these children. Their presence feels wrong, alien. The unfortunate souls who've encountered them describe a rising terror, a sensation so primal it makes the hair on the back of their necks stand. These children will persistently ask to be let in, growing more insistent with each refusal, their voices slipping from gentle to unnervingly demanding. The true horror, however, lies in their eyes, pitch black orbs, empty of any warmth, life, or humanity. Once the blackness of their gaze is noticed, the fear becomes inescapable. Witnesses describe an overwhelming urge to shut the door, to flee, as if staring into those eyes could drain one's very soul. Some unlucky individuals have reported letting the children inside, only to be overcome by feelings of despair and dread. Their homes feel darker, colder, and they report experiencing nightmares and a constant feeling of being watched. Those who survive such encounters claim their lives are never the same, haunted by sickness, misfortune, and a sense of something unseen lurking just beyond their vision. Legend has it that the black-eyed children are not children at all, but creatures of something older and darker, a malevolent force cloaked in the innocence of youth. They cannot enter unless invited, yet they possess a strange hypnotic pull, as if they can bend their victims' wills to their own. Those who encounter the black-eyed children speak of them in hushed voices, sharing only vague details, fearful of summoning them back by remembering too clearly. And for those who live alone, beware of unexpected knocks on your door late at night. Because if you ever hear a soft, insistent voice asking to be let in, resist the urge to open the door. Turn off the lights, stay quiet, and pray they leave before you catch a glimpse of their hollow, black eyes staring through the darkness, waiting. In darkened rooms, with only the flicker of a candle's light, the chilling legend of Bloody Mary comes to life. This haunting spirit, shrouded in mystery and dread, is said to appear in mirrors, summoned by those brave or foolish enough to speak her name. The ritual is simple, yet terrifying. Stand before a mirror, stare into your own reflection, and chant, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Legend warns that calling her name unlocks a portal, a thin veil between our world and hers. As you chant, the room grows colder, the air thickening as if her presence fills every corner, lurking just beyond your vision. Those who have dared to call her say that shadows begin to twist, the flickering candlelight dimming as though something unnatural is drawing it in. And then, through the glass, she appears. A gaunt, hollow-eyed figure with a blood-streaked face, staring back with an expression twisted by agony, rage, or a cruel, mocking smile. Witnesses describe her as a vision of torment. Her long, tangled hair framing a face pale as bone, her eyes glinting with dark intentions. Sometimes she reaches out, her fingers clawing from behind the glass, leaving bloody smears across the mirror's surface. Others claim she whispers secrets of the future, a voice soft and chilling, or even laughs, a sound so cold it chills the blood. But beware, Bloody Mary is said to hold the power to curse, to haunt, or to pull the unwary into her ghostly world. Many believe that once you call upon her, she lingers, an invisible presence following you, waiting in the shadows. And so when night falls and the mirror reflects only darkness, think twice before speaking her name, for Bloody Mary is always listening, waiting for her next victim. In the chilling legend of the Buckley family, an old, grainy photograph captures a haunting moment that still terrifies those who see it. The black and white image shows two children, a boy and a girl, standing eerily still, their faces expressionless, eyes empty and dark. But beneath this innocent appearance lies a sinister tale, a Halloween night turned nightmare. According to the legend, the Buckley children were quiet and reserved, hardly ever speaking to anyone but each other. On one Halloween night, however, their mother mysteriously disappeared. Neighbours grew suspicious, noticing that the house remained dark and silent, an unsettling quiet hovering over it. Days later, the truth was discovered in a twisted, horrific scene, their mother's body hidden away, with chilling evidence suggesting that the children had murdered her in cold blood. When questioned, the Buckley children claimed they did it for fun, their voices chillingly devoid of remorse. The police could find no rational motive, only a dark emptiness in the children's eyes, a void that seemed to stare right back at them, leaving officers uneasy. It's said that the Buckley children were taken away, their fate unknown, but the photograph remained, a disturbing reminder of that night. Some say that if you look into the children's eyes for too long, you'll feel an inexplicable darkness creeping over you, as though their eerie, hollow stare is reaching out, threatening to pull you into their twisted world. To this day, that haunting image is said to resurface occasionally, appearing in random places, as if the Buckley children are still watching, waiting, perhaps seeking a new victim to haunt. Those who've seen it say the cold, empty stare never leaves them, a terrifying reminder of innocence twisted into something monstrous, lingering just beyond the frame. In the dark corners of Fairfax County, Virginia, lurks a tale so twisted it leaves a chill, even in the bravest hearts. The legend of the Bunny Man is whispered in hushed tones, a haunting memory of the night he first appeared, a figure in a ragged, filthy rabbit costume, eyes blazing with madness, clutching an axe. It began in 1970, on a cold October night. A young couple parked their car near an old bridge, hoping for a quiet moment alone. Suddenly, they heard a scraping sound, metal dragging against stone, then a bone-chilling voice snarling, "Get off my land." In the dim light, they saw him, the Bunny Man. He lifted his axe high, and with a swift, furious swing, shattered their windshield. Shrieking, the couple sped off, but the image of the crazed man, fur-matted with dirt and blood, etched itself into their minds. Since that night, stories have spread, each one more horrifying than the last. Some say he's the ghost of an escaped asylum patient who hides in the woods, haunting the county in search of revenge. Others claim he's a restless spirit, doomed to stalk the shadows forever, fueled by a rage he can't control. They say that if you dare to visit the bridge at midnight, you might hear the sound of his axe scraping the ground, his ghostly form lingering in the shadows, waiting for another soul to claim. People swear they've seen him, his silhouette under the moonlight, his eyes gleaming from the depths of the forest. And one thing is certain: once you see the Bunny Man, you'll never forget the sight of his axe, the echo of his growl, or the terror that will haunt your dreams.
In the eerie world of fame, there lies a chilling superstition, the celebrity death rule of threes. It's a whispered belief, an unshakable omen that warns of impending doom among the glittering lights of Hollywood, politics, and stardom. When one celebrity falls, fans and the media alike brace themselves, knowing all too well that this is merely the beginning, a grim countdown until 2 more lives are claimed. They say that death has a peculiar hunger for threes, a dark, insatiable pull. Once the first life is taken, a sense of dread seeps through the industry, thick and unrelenting, and the clock begins ticking, its silent chimes echoing like a death knell. Paparazzi, fans, and celebrities themselves grow tense, waiting for the next blow to strike. One by one, names appear in the headlines, lives snuffed out like candles in the night. Some insist it's mere coincidence. Others believe that death itself is toying with them, reveling in the twisted rule it's written in shadows. People recall eerie patterns, clusters of stars who fell too close together, as if drawn by some unseen force. Musicians, actors, politicians, all succumb, as if they're unable to escape this chilling fate. Whispers claim that those marked by the rule feel an impending presence, a shadow lingering just out of sight. And as the third life is taken, the specter of the rule retreats, vanishing until the next cycle begins, leaving fans haunted by the pattern, their hearts heavy with fear. So next time you hear of a celebrity's sudden death, listen closely. You may feel the cold breath of fate, hear the ticking countdown, and wonder, who will be next? The rule of threes is always watching, an unseen predator stalking the world of the famous, waiting, calculating, until 3 more souls join its haunting collection. Deep in the dense, shadowy forests of Mexico lurk the Chinex, small, sinister beings of Aztec mythology, creatures twisted by the ancient secrets of the underworld. Known as guardians of the wild, these entities are said to protect mountains and creatures, but their methods are anything but gentle. Those who wander too far into their realm often find themselves lost, surrounded by the whispering shadows of these creatures, who watch with dark, gleaming eyes. The Shinekes appear as tiny men and women, but don't let their size fool you. They are as ancient as the mountains themselves, with wrinkled faces that twist into sly, knowing smiles, and voices that mimic the sounds of the forest. Leaves rustling, branches cracking, animals calling. They're often spotted just out of reach, watching intruders with a curious, malevolent gaze. And if you catch a glimpse of them, it's already too late. Legend has it that the Chinex guard their sacred lands with ruthless cunning. If they catch you trespassing, they'll trap you in their twisted labyrinth of roots and shadows, luring you deeper and deeper until you're utterly lost. And for those unfortunate enough to cross their path directly, the Chinex are said to steal a part of your spirit, leaving you hollow, haunted, a mere shadow of your former self. Some who have encountered the Chinex return, but they're never quite the same. They speak of hearing eerie laughter that echoes in their minds, seeing flashes of tiny figures darting through the corner of their vision, and they always warn, never stray too deep into the forest. The Shinekes are watching, guarding, waiting, for they are the keepers of the wild, and their spirits hunger for any who dare to disturb their domain. In the quiet town of Terrell, Texas, whispers of a woman known as Clara Crane still echo through the streets. Her legend, a chilling reminder of the darkness lurking beneath the surface of everyday life. was once a sweet-faced woman, a stranger to no one, who always seemed to have a pocket full of treats for the children who dared to approach her. But her candy was no innocent delight. No, it was something far more sinister. It is said that Clara lured children into her grasp with the promise of sugary sweets, a gleam of kindness hiding the abyss of madness beneath her pale skin. Once they followed her into the shadows. They were never seen again. Parents, frantic with worry, found only the faintest traces. A few candies dropped on the ground, a small shoe, a forgotten doll. The children had vanished without a trace, swallowed whole by the night. The authorities could never find Clara. Some say she was the inspiration behind a real unsolved case of missing children in Durrell, where it was believed she kidnapped and then disappeared them into her twisted, hidden lair. Others claim she still roams the town, waiting for the next curious soul, a soft voice beckoning them closer with the rustling of candy wrappers, until the air thickens with the smell